Oh shit, we are back.
What up, breadheads? Ty and Eric in the podcasting booth, ringing in your ears. How are we doing, King?
I'm doing excellent. I have a brand new YSL candle burning in the corner of my studio right now. I'm sitting in a nice leather, beautiful vintage chair, drinking my San Pellegrino, and I'm ready to get into some unhinged topics with you, Ty. How about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sitting in an IKEA chair and I'm drinking SodaStream sparkling water. So I feel like I'm the pedestrian version of you right now. I'm okay with that. What's the flavor profile of the YSL candle?
The flavor profile, Ty, is well, it's in French, so I'm going to do my best to translate it on off the rip right now. But
Hmm.
spices and patchouli.
Spices and patchouli, the herbs and cheese of Paris.
The herbe, herbe et fromage.
I don't know what it is, dude. I don't. I don't eat enough French food. It's very meat heavy, as you know. So my understanding of like French food and culture is like duck. I'm just like, I think they eat a lot of duck. I don't
They,
think that the French have been appropriated enough by fast food for the essence of it to be uh, like dispersed amongst the normal population, the way that Subway has culturally appropriated Italianism.
yeah, dude. I think you're 100% on point with that. I watched a video recently about just buying croissants in Paris, weirdly enough, Ty. And one thing that the person said was that in this certain area in Paris that they were like browsing around, there was like a McDonald's and a
Hmm.
Subway. And they said something along the lines of like, whenever you see McDonald's or a Subway or a train station where you are, there's no good people around.
Mm.
Like there's just no good people living in that area.
Hmm.
And that really kind of resonated with me because yeah, you're right. The French are not one to stop at a McDonald's and get a quick McNugget.
McFleury. Uh, you're probably true, but the problem is that subways are plaguing every street corner that I see. I don't know if I have a trained sense for it, but I feel like everywhere I go, that green and yellow sign is lit up. So, am I just
Mhm.
hanging out in the wrong neighborhoods, or has Subway got its
Mm.
sauce-covered little 6-inch fingers in every corner of the continent?
I think the problem, Ty, is that Subway's core demographic look like you and me. You know what I mean?
Mm,
We are tourists at the end of the day, so like we like to check out like the tourist sites.
mhm,
And when we're at Notre Dame in Paris, there's going to be a Subway near there. That doesn't mean that there are good French people living there. They're living
mhm,
somewhere else, and that's okay. But they're catering to people like us who live in North America who have a Subway on every corner. So they assume that we are, just used to that, and like find comfort in having 12 inches of bread always nearby.
I guess so. If you think about the word tourist in the most general sense, Eric, it really just means to commute and to tour, to go somewhere
The
else,
tour,
to tour.
the grand tour.
Yeah. So, even if I toured myself from my apartment to your apartment, I cross the path of at least 3 subways on the way there. Um,
Minimum.
and my tourist instinct kicks in immediately, to flock
Hmm.
to the safety of the green and yellow tinted windows.
Yeah, I think just growing up in North America, Ty, that we were born to be tourists. Because
Mhm,
to get from my place to your place, I need to hop on a 6 lane highway, drive my car through this suburban dystopia, and
mhm,
find parking somewhere near you. You know what I mean? I can't take the tube. I can't,
mhm.
take a Lime scooter. I can't do anything. I have to burn gasoline in order to get to you and record this pod IRL. So help us God.
Yeah, dude, you're constant and that's why I think Subway is so appealing because 'cause you're going from Subway station to Subway sandwich every day, you know?
Oh shit. So the deeper it gets, Ty, this is crazy.
Mhm. You long for the transit.
I do. Well,
You
not
foot
really. To be fair, transit in North America means you're poor. Transit
Mhm.
in Europe means like you're going somewhere efficiently. and you just like
Mhm.
you value your time. That's all.
Mhm. Which is, almost richer, you know?
It is richer, yeah. Time is money. Speaking of time
Mhm.
is money, Ty, I want to talk about who this episode is brought to you by.
You
This
mean who this
episode,
episode is dedicated to?
it's dedicated to this company, Ty, is lining our pockets so that we're able to provide the breadheads with quality content twice a week.
Mhm.
Um, and that first company is Laird Superfood. Shout out to
Mhm.
Laird. They make all kinds of different nutritional. I don't know what they're really called, but I'll call them boosters. You kind of throw them into like whatever you're eating anyway. So, for example, if you're making coffee in the morning, throw in some of that creamer, get a hit of nutrition with that. If you're making a foot long, they probably have some kind of like seasoning salt that will give you like all of the vitamins you need to function throughout the day and talk for hours on end like I am right now. And you know what? You
Yeah.
can use the code Think Fresh to get 15% off, or click that link in the description. Ty, have you used Laird yet?
I haven't dug into Laird. Obviously, we're talking about Laird as in Laird Hamilton, the professional surfer turned coffee creamer extraordinaire,
If you
on a
ever wanted
podcast
a
about Subway.
yeah, if you ever wanted a surfer to cream in your coffee, use the code Think Fresh to get a nice discount on that.
Dude, I haven't tried this shit yet. So even though I'm peddling it, it does look good. I'm checking out like plant-based coffee creamers all the time because that's like the next big wave, if you will, of
Mm.
nut milks is to get into the other types of dairy fluid. So this
Hmm.
is a natural progression of the industry. I'd be most curious though about their performance mushrooms. That's
Oh
right.
shit.
Laird sells performance mushrooms and our code does work on it. It's like a bunch of different like lion's mane and chaga and like other kind of like farmers market mushrooms all like
Hmm.
dried up and put in like some medicinal package. And I want to get some of those. I want to either put it in pasta or turn up to the way with it and get it in my sandwich.
Yeah, dude, these functional mushroom blends look fire. I'm not gonna lie, especially the oat milk hot chocolate. I think I'm gonna hit that up.
Dude,
In
that's
addition
whack.
to some protein bars, this
Hell
sounds
yeah.
pretty awesome. So use the code ThinkFresh, or even better, click that link in our description, or check out the bio on Instagram. The link's there too.
Dude, check
Um,
out Laird Hamilton's bio. This guy has done it all, man.
Dude,
And
this
then
guy's got
he's
a
like,
link tree also.
whoa, you know when you know you've done it all when you like are a professional athlete with a food brand because you're just like a man of many traits.
100%.
Kind of like
Um,
you, Eric.
Thanks. When we're talking about athletes named Hamilton, we're not talking about Lewis Hamilton. We're talking
Mm-mm.
about Laird Hamilton. Um, in addition to that, Ty, this episode is also brought to you by Wongo
Ooh,
Puzzles.
double
You ever
header. Think fresh
doubleheader
is
today?
popular.
That's right. That's right. Wongo Puzzles. Do you want to speak about what that is?
Oh, dude, Wongo puzzles. Why? I'm because I'm the gamer guy and you're the lifter. Is that the idea here?
You're a bit more of a gamer, but we all know that we like to play games. We're toxic kings in that way.
Okay, so Wonko Puzzles is actually super appropriate for everyone that's listening to this podcast for two reasons. One, they make all of their puzzles out of wood, and I know you crave wood. Um, the second one is every puzzle is unique. So they do a kind of a custom build for each one. So you never get the same puzzle twice, which is kind of whack. Um,
Damn.
and you can imagine where I'm going with that comparison. Every foot long is the same, or every foot long is
Hmm.
different. So, like, well, it is for, dude, if every foot long is the same for you, you're not doing Subway right. I stand by that rule.
You could be ordering the double meat BMT with no veggies every single time, but we all know that it's going to turn out slightly differently.
Yeah, so you got these like crazy ass custom designs you're not going to see anywhere else. You can really make it your own that way. Uh, they're made of wood. They're the Subway sandwich of puzzling, and we've eliminated the puzzle from ordering one. All you have to do is use code Think Fresh to get 10% off Wongo puzzles.
That's right, guys. Don't sign up for the newsletter when you go on the website that gives you 10% off. Use our code instead.
Yeah, support the pod.
support the pod. Click the link in the description, and you know what? This actually sounds like a great gift. I might gift this to somebody in the near future because it's made on wood, Ty, and we all know that wood is the best way to make a puzzle. Can you just can you recall the last time you like made a puzzle and how annoying it was to, like fit the pieces together because they're all kind of like close enough to like jam together, but then
Mhm.
like they're not supposed to go together. But you're like, fuck, do I just like force it
Yeah, dude,
with
when
the
you have the
wood
strength
puzzles?
and dexterity of my fingers, you can make any 2 pieces go together. I will make it fit.
Exactly. With the wood ones, you don't have to worry about any kind of questions. You just kind of like feel the vibes of that puzzle, and you're able to carry that through from start to finish. So
Mhm. It
just
just
like
clicks.
it just clicks, just
Damn.
like just like you clicking on the link in the description to
Yeah.
buy one of these Wongo puzzles for 10% off and supporting the
Hell yeah.
boys.
Yeah. Buy yourself some adaptive mushrooms or a wooden puzzle that's shaped like a turtle. We don't care. Just
Hmm.
use the link. Um,
Exactly.
wow,
You
this
know
is so
what?
exciting. And
You
never buy a blender. We've
you
hard
know
pivoted on
we
blenders.
we've evolved past the need for blenders, Ty. We go to Subway again. Okay, the
Mhm.
Subway sandwich never even worked in the blender, so who cares? Um,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. So go ahead and click on that link in the description and support the boys.
Uh, dude, I need some support. I have drained my bag on my recent trip. I just got back from the Mayan Riviera last night. I was there for 5 days. I
Hmm.
was just doing all of the White Lotus things, uh,
Yeah, doing
keeping a
drugs in the behind the receptionist.
yeah, yeah, keeping a very natural emotional distance to a culture that you are a part of.
Hmm.
um,
It's
yeah,
called
and
self care.
yeah, to kind of be physically present but mentally unavailable.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, it
Hmm.
was kind of a crazy time. The resort I was staying at, I actually felt like a White Lotus character because it was all inclusive as they are there, right? And the first thing you do when you walk in your room at an all inclusive resort, what is it?
When you walk into your room, you order a plate of cheese.
Whoa, okay. I,
I don't know. That's
I
what I do.
That's awesome. I'm gonna do that next time. For some reason, the cord on my phone in the room was cut so that I couldn't
Oh,
call the lobby, and I think it's part of a master plan behind the scenes, but what I do is I open the mini fridge and hit the mini bar and immediately crush every beer in there,
oh,
usually,
dude, yeah, that was a
right in
given. My mistake. That's like rule number one. But then you like log into the TV right after it and like click around and order the cheese plate to the door. But yes,
yeah,
that's only after you crack the Budweiser that's in the
true.
fridge.
You need to lubricate the throat before you can speak with the concierge, right? Um, and then
Exactly.
you can sign into Hulu. So
Nice.
I go to do that, of course, long day of travel. I'm so sweaty because it's humid and I haven't climatized. And I go to pull the beer out of the fridge, and this shit isn't a twist off. You gotta actually
Oh
crack it. You need a
no.
bottle opener. Um, so I check every drawer in the condo, and I can't find one. I'm like, fuck this, and I end up like using my car key to like crack it open eventually. But you know how that is. Like all my fingers were bloody by the end of the trip. I'll get into that.
I would have
um,
used the phone that was cut in half. Just use the receiver to pop that thing off. It's all it's good for anyway.
that's true, actually. So I'm like thinking in my head, they must have just forgot the bottle opener. Like the housekeeping just missed it today. They dropped the ball.
Hmm.
So because the phone's cut, I can't get them to deliver me one. So like I guess I have to wait till morning the
This is
next day.
like a this is like a final destination kind of situation Ty you've ended up in. Like if
Yeah,
I
dude.
were to if I were to walk into a room, no bottle opener, no phone, the phone lines are down.
Hmm.
I'm in fight or flight mode. I might be like jumping off the balcony at this point.
I was thinking the same thing because there's something to take, like you have this like such a strong sense of what you're going to do when you walk in the room. You're like, I cannot wait to crank back a Corona the second I get there,
Hmm.
right? But I got there like pretty late. It was like midnight. So all of the kind of like restaurants and bars were shutting down. It was midweek. Um, so this was like really my only beer option, and I couldn't call. So to have that taken away from me, that
Oh
expectation
man.
was terrible. But then I go to breakfast the next morning. I talk to my friend, and he says, "Yeah, I also had no twists off in my room, and I went to
Hmm.
concierge to talk to them, and they gaslit me. They said, "No, they're twist off." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Maybe they are twist off, and maybe I'm a fucking idiot." So I go back to my room. I go to crack this beer again, twist it off. And I look at it and it says on the label, like bottle opener. Like there's a picture of a bottle opener on it. So I'm like, this is
Oh.
obviously not twist off. Like concierge is just messing with us.
Uh-huh.
So then I go to concierge and I say to the guy, "Hey, I need a bottle opener for my stinking room beers." And the guy says, "They're twist off." I'm like, "They're not twist off, dude." And then he's like, "Really?" And then I'm like, "Yeah. Has no one talked to you about this before?" He's like, "No." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Clearly you're lying to me." And I say, "Where can I get a bottle opener around here?" And he like scratches his head and he thinks like, "Oh, I don't think there is one, man. Maybe
Oh
you
my
could
God.
take the bars, but I don't think they have one either. They're all cans." And I'm like, "There's no bottle opener on this resort, and you've stocked every single mini fridge with beers like this?" And he's like,
Wow.
"I don't know what to tell you, man. I didn't realize this was an issue."
That's
And then he
insane.
said,
So has no guest ever drank the hotel room beer? This
"Dude,
is
I
my
think this is a
question.
fucking conspiracy of these all-inclusives, is they dangle the all-inclusive thing for you, but they probably save so much money because no everyone gives up." And I kept
Hmm.
pressing the guy. I'm like, "You gotta help me get one of these. You're concierge." He's like, "I can bring you mine from my house tomorrow."
That's service though. He's looking
Yeah.
for that $20 tip.
Yeah, dude, he wants
Um,
those pesos. But
but to be honest, Ty, I think there might be some miscommunication happening here. Something's being lost in translation. Because I think the Mexican twisties, the twist off beers, are just built for like hardworking Mexican hands. So like, did you try
oh,
just letting him do it? Like maybe if you just
dude.
handed him the beer, he would be able to open it for you. Because like
Yeah.
all the calluses on his hands, you know, he's probably I imagine they're just tougher in general, that they'd be able to just twist one off for you, just at
Oh,
least for the
yeah.
time being.
That's a good point. Like, years of remote work and Aesop hand lotion have turned my hands basically into just, like, soup, you know? Like,
Yeah, dude.
I can't even pick anything up anymore. You're right. It's probably on me, my
Yeah.
white collar lifestyle.
His hands look like that so that you can use a bottle opener in your room from his home.
Dude, totally. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I realized that I can never be put in this situation again. I need to get one for my keychain. So I'm going to see if there's any designer keychain bottle openers on Grailed or
Hmm.
something.
This is the
Or the
problem,
other option
Ty.
is like maybe Haley Bieber has like a online tutorial for how to do it with the mouth. I know she can do that.
Oh yeah, she does. That's a random skill. That's a red flag, actually.
Kinda.
Um, but you got to get good, Ty, as a man at like finding creative ways to open beer bottles. I think this is like the most masculine trait, is if you can like creatively open a beer bottle in any given situation. A
Mm-hmm.
good one is to use a lighter. I always have a lighter
Mm-hmm.
with me, so I just like pop it off. With
Pop
that,
pop.
I've gotten good at that. My dad also had this weird trick where like you just use another bottle and you like hold
Mm.
them upside down and then you like pop it off. But then you can never have like you always have one beer left over.
You can never finish the beers.
Yeah, exactly. So you always have one beer and you just like can't drink that one. But
It's kind of
um
like a beer image scheme where you need to acquire more beers to finish the beers.
yeah, exactly. Or maybe just the cost of opening the beer is one beer, and that's okay.
Yeah, in desperate times, I'll pay that price.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I what my trick is I usually put it on like you open a door and then you
I'm
put it at the
sure.
top of
I'm sure your partner loves that one. With like in the home, it's just like, babe, why is the door all fucked up? It's like,
Yeah,
sorry,
dude.
sorry, Daddy was thirsty.
That's the problem is 9 times out of 10 it fucks up the door. And you just kind of hope that you like did it in the area on the door that won't be too noticeable. So I tried
Hmm.
doing that on the door of the hotel room. Didn't really work. I went out on the patio and I tried doing it on the patio. I was peeling back the plastic lining on that.
Oh
Uh,
no.
I was to the point where I was like, should I just smash the neck of this bottle on the patio, like on the concrete?
Shit. Yeah, dude, that's a tricky situation. This is why you need like either something on your keychain, which looks like ridiculous, like
Mhm.
364 days of the year. But then that one day you'll be a hero. Um, I find like similar things happen with like bottles of wine. Like people somehow never have like the proper wine opener. And like when I
Mhm.
bring a bottle to somewhere like that has an engagement with a cork in it, no one can open it. And I'm like, fuck, if you just told me that you were unequipped, I would have brought mine. This is crazy. Who
Mhm.
doesn't have a bottle opener in 2023, Ty?
Yeah,
Mexico, apparently.
the entire resort.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing, dude, and I I literally think it's like a conspiracy. I don't know what to think about this, but I was so excited to finally get some complimentary guac. Years of Subway visits, and I never want to pay for the guac, right? But all-inclusive resort in the land of guacamole,
Mhm.
avocados de Mexico. I thought, "Oh, I'm gonna OD. I'm gonna OD on the G." And but there was
What
not
happened?
a single dollop of guacamole at any restaurant in this whole resort, Eric.
Really?
Doesn't matter, beach bar, buffet, sit down, reservation only, lobby bar, nowhere was serving guac. I
Oh
couldn't find it.
man.
I was longing for it. I was salivating. No matter where I looked, there was not an avocado in sight. That doesn't add up. That doesn't make sense to me. What's going on?
It doesn't make sense, but
Are they
somewhere
seasonal?
it's entirely possible. They just don't have the refrigeration capabilities, Ty. But
Mm,
somewhere up the chain, there's some Mexican dude who's all he sees is pesos. You know what I mean? He's thinking about like these dumb Americans are coming to our country to have free guac. I don't think so.
mhm.
You know what I mean? They're also saving the guac and they're probably shipping it out to places like Subway on a premium. Why would they give it to you? You know what I
That's
mean? Did
true,
you
and you
did
can
you
make
look at the
s
reviews?
oh, dude, that makes so much sense. Why would you give me guac for free when you can send it north and make, like, so much money off of it?
Storing that thing, dude. Storing avocados in that climate is probably very costly for you know this
You
cute
don't have to
little
store it, you
Mexican
just
village.
pluck it off the tree. The mother nature, m
Oh
mommy
shit, you're
mommy
right.
naturo s will store it for you.
This is you trying to explain it to the CEO of the Mexican resort. It's like, no, 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 no. Mamacita will do it for you.
Mhm. I thought,
Wow.
the other hypothesis I had was the resort that I stayed at had been blacklisted by the cartels. Like,
Oh,
something about the owners are like they're like, "Oh, we don't fuck with them." Either they don't wanna, like, buy avocados off the cartels, or the cartels have blacklisted them from purchasing avocados as a retaliation for something.
interesting. And what gave you that impression? Just no
Well,
avocados?
just no
Or
avo
did
like,
they was there like a strong like AR-15 presence in this resort?
I just watched that one, like there's that one Netflix explained, like, avocado cartel episode. Um,
Oh, so please tell me more. I don't know anything about this.
oh, dude, I only read the summary. I didn't actually watch the episode, but
Okay.
apparently that like most avocados that we eat come from Mexican drug cartels.
Hmm.
They kind of run the whole industry, and then so like because they're just so lucrative. Like, would you? You would probably make just as much money selling avocados on the black market, or I guess like green turning brown market, as you will with like a hard drug shipping out of the country. Because like the old markup for an avocado at Whole Foods is probably like the same as like top of the line cocaine, you know?
Interesting. I mean, now that you say that, I'm thinking about the other fruit that is like, it's like a high end fruit, at least in North America, and it's
Hmm.
coconut. And at my Mexican resort that I was staying at, you just like walk around. There's like coconuts growing above your head. You just look up and there's a fucking coconut. So
Mhm.
there's no shortage of them, and so much so, Ty, that you can just like ask any Mexican guy to climb a tree and get it for you.
No way. You're just like, "You, can you help me?"
Yeah, I have no clue if they're employees, but they look tan, so I'm like, hey, can I get that one? And then you just give him like a $3 American,
Mhm.
and he'll even chop it open for you, and that's it. Either fresh coconut, you can drink it straight from the shell. So
Mhm.
I imagine there's no reason why avocados can be a similar thing. Like every resort should just have an avocado farm on it.
Yeah. Um, I feel like there's, like, probably a term, like a nursery specifically for the avocado trees.
Hmm.
Um,
Kind of like how like here in North America, like every new development has to have like 20% green space or like some
mhm.
bullshit like that. I don't know what the actual number is. Every resort in Mexico should have like an adult hot tub and like an
Mhm.
avocado tree.
Mhm. Few lime trees and a swim up bar. That's what everything has to
Exactly.
be.
There used to be like a secluded area for adults to not see or hear children. And then also, I want my avocado margarita to be within the arm's reach, also.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, crazy. It is fun engaging with the Mexican people. They're always so friendly. Unless they're trying to sell you a timeshare, then they're very friendly. Like
Mm,
at one point I found myself like lost in like some dusty alleys, like really dusty around Tulum.
hmm,
And I was just trying to find a liquor store to buy some Coronas. And I like
hmm.
talked to this guy and I'm like, cerveza where? Right. And he like gave me crazy directions in Spanish. And I like just keep walking down the alley. I don't find it. It's 32 degrees out, Canadian temperature. So hot. And I like finally give up and I'm walking back and he sees me again. He's like, Mi amigo, come with me. And then he just like walked me down all this like uh just like a maze of dusty alleys. And then he like shows me this little convenience store where the Modelo's were. And I just felt so grateful. I didn't tip him, but I
Mm,
gave him a high five, which is
mm. And was this an
can't put a
employee?
price on that.
Yeah, he got to interact with the podcaster. That's some
Yeah.
pretty like. Did you let him know that you're actually very notable
I
in the modern world?
maybe I would have if I knew how.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to come back with me to the first world, and we'll set you up at Home Depot or something?
Mhm. You can, yeah, we could bring you on the pod.
Bring him on the pod.
I'm sure he's got stories.
Hmm. Um, yeah, dude. Modelo's. Was this an employee at the store that helped you out, or
I
just
don't think
some
so.
Mexican
But it
guy?
could have been like his third cousin or something.
Oh, interesting, interesting.
Who knows?
I feel so bad, Ty, that you had to venture out of this all inclusive in quotes, to find beer and then pay for it. That sounds like the last thing I would want to do on an all-inclusive vacation.
Well, it's not like I'm buying a bottle opener. That would be giving up.
You could have just bought a bottle opener. That would have one bottle opener, Ty, would have unlocked unlimited beer for you. Did you just think about it that way?
Yeah, no, I thought about that, but I don't know, man. Then I have to be responsible for this bottle opener forever.
I mean, at the very least, it's a souvenir, Ty. It will forever traumatize you
Fair
of
enough.
your non-inclusive vacation. It was
Mhm.
pretty exclusive if you think about it. That's kind
It
of
was
cool, I
very
guess.
exclusive. Like, yeah, a very
All
specific.
exclusive.
Like, there's like a certain type of dude that always has a bottle opener on his keychain, and like those
Yeah.
guys were thriving. That's the demographic they're appealing to.
Oh no.
Like
So
there was one guy by the pool, and he's like, you know, I there's a real big problem facing our society. And we're like, yeah, what? And he's like, no one wants to give her anymore.
yeah, dude, nobody wants to pull themselves up by their bootstraps anymore in this
No.
fucking country. Everyone just wants a handout from fucking what's his name? Bernie.
Yeah, dude. No.
That sucks, man. So was there like a big like tailgate kind of like show out at this resort? Like a lot of just like cargo shorts and Trump hats and
Yeah, dude.
flag like American flags like on like a back of a t-shirt.
A lot of bros walking around in hockey jerseys, like their dicks dragging behind them. Like, I get
Team
that it's playoff
America.
season, but it's, like,
Wow,
so
dude.
hot out. How do you wear that?
Yeah, dude, I have no clue. I've never been a Jersey kind of guy, but if I was, it'd be New Jersey.
Mm. Did you say nude?
New
Oh,
Jersey,
New
as in the country,
Jersey.
as in the city.
The country.
Um, the country
Mhm.
might as well be. Wow, Ty. When I reflect on my trip to Mexico recently, I guess it was a year and a bit ago now. Real heads no.
Mhm.
But what kind of like restaurants did you have on campus? Because when I was like moseying around, drunk out of my mind, looking for food, there was
Mhm.
like tons of places to eat that were like not just the buffet, but there was like a steakhouse, an actual
Mhm.
Mexican quote Mexican restaurant, a Jamaican spot, etc. What did you have at this place?
Yeah, dude. So you got a cop a reservation for the sit down. Um, see you want to see like how Mexicans do Brazilian food, or you want to see how Mexicans do Italian food. That's the way you got to do it. You got to go through the concierge, get the booking, get there in the evening, wear your finest, um, like Harry Rosen collared shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I only had time for a couple of those activations. I went to the authentic Mexican restaurant on my quest for guac, and I had the worst tacos of my life there.
Oh
Believe it or not,
no.
like the worst. So that was enlightening. They were bad because they were cauliflower and onion, and they weren't seasoned at all. And there was no salsa, there was no guac, there was no hot sauce. They were just fried cauliflower and onion in
Mm.
a tortilla shell. Um,
Damn, man. It must be
yeah,
tough for
dude.
you because like Mexico, it's like they're like a big meat eating country. So like
Hmm.
the pork is like really good there and stuff like that. So it must have
Hell
sucked
yeah.
for you.
It's
But
okay. I broke some rules. I dug into a little bit of fish because it was getting pretty hard to
oh,
find food. So a little pescado here and there, and
oh,
that opened up the
nice.
French restaurant on campus and the kind of Japanese restaurant as well, where they were frying everything up right in front of me. At one point, the
Oh yeah,
Japanese, or he wasn't Japanese. He was Mexican, wearing a chef's hat, but he like he would take like the food off the grill with his flipper, and then he would throw it across the room, and I'd catch it in my mouth. We had a little thing going.
dude. I was about to ask if you caught anything in your mouth at that place,
Yeah, dude.
because
They love to do that. Got to engage the audience. I wish Subway did that. It'd be so funny if they're like, "Here's a little cute coming over."
it's kind of like when that one time when you wanted to try the green goddess sauce and they just like
Mhm.
squirted a little bit onto a cuke. Like they should have just
Mhm.
like taught like frisbeed it into your mouth. That would have been nice.
Yeah, dude. That was such a weird moment to like pass the green goddess sauce over the sneeze guard, like you're at like a gelato shop or something. It was truly breaking the fourth wall, almost
Hmm.
literally, of
Hmm.
what I understood the Subway ordering process to be. So if they could
Yeah.
just flick me a few fresh black olives every time I'm in there, it would be pretty
Hmm.
engaging.
Hmm. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, with that like cucumber vessel, they've basically just admitted that the cucumbers don't add anything to the sandwich. It's merely
Hmm.
a cracker at that point, much
Hmm.
like myself on the other side of the sneeze guard.
Hmm. Yeah, dude, you're a little cracker, a little snack over there.
Cracker. This is a great time. Did you dabble in the buffet? Because obviously, as a vegetarian, at the buffet, there's got to be like
Mm,
minimum four options, right? Like, there's got to be
hell
like
yeah, brother.
way more options for you there. So, what did you get into the buffet?
Yeah,
And
of
did you catch
course there
food
was
poisoning?
buffets. Uh, I got away with it, but a few of my friends caught it, and LP was feeling pretty bad too.
Oh,
But
nice.
um, I have an incredibly strong immune system from years of going to a buffet once a week to order 12 inches of sandwich.
That's
Really,
true.
just I don't want to overuse the term built different, but it.
I mean, you could have very easily, Ty, like, because, especially because there was no beer available to you, you could have easily went towards the sink and drank some tap water, which I
Mm.
imagine maybe your friends did,
You
because they
think
were
you want
like,
to
"What
get
the
fucked
fuck?"
up tonight?
Yeah, literally, do you want to die tonight? I'm about to black out in the bathtub right now, but
Mhm.
yeah, as a last resort, Ty, with no beverages, I can see somebody, taking a little sippy sippy from the faucet,
Mhm.
and that's always going to end bad for you in Mexico.
Yep, it's a death sentence. I did find some beveritos around. I got into a few espresso martinis. They are served in margarita glasses there. Um, and in order to fill the margarita glass to its full brim, because they are wider than your classic martini, you need to shake it a little longer to melt more ice, to water it down to get it up there. So you can expect
Oh,
a very watery espresso martini in Mexico. Um,
uh-oh. So does the ice, I should know this, Ty, but does the ice translate into, shitting yourself in the middle of the night because it's melting down?
I I think that the most places have become conscientious that the ice should not be made from tap water. They should use bottled water to make the ice. So you don't really encounter any problems with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thankfully, we've solved that at scale.
Yeah, dude, no kidding. At least they recognize it. But they still use tap water to wash the lettuce, as we all know from
Hmm.
my last escapade there.
Yeah, dude. I stayed away from all the veggies at the buffet for that reason because of your traumatizing story of the lettuce bucket. I stuck
Hmm.
to the cheeses. I ate a lot of like buffet croissants. Um, French people would be mad at me. I had like croissants from gas stations, croissants from buffets. I was happy with all of them. I don't know if I just like don't have a taste for croissants. I thought I did, but it's hard to like not like have a croissant and be like, this is gross. I'm not finishing it. They're all pretty good.
They're all better than just bread, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just no matter what type of croissant you get, it's a step up from bread. And
Hmm.
you can get amazing croissants, you can get bad ones, but at the end of the day, it's better than fucking sourdough, right?
Totally. Like you could take a piece of toast and put butter on it and eat that, but that's boring. But as soon as you do that, as a croissant. It's just the exact same ingredients, but why is it so much better? Like it's like hundreds of times better.
You're right. And speaking of elevating my bread game at home, Ty, I did
Mhm.
buy some bagels, and I wanted to tell
Mm.
this to you because I bought some herbs and cheese flavored bagels, and I had one
Whoa.
today, and I gotta say it was really good. I usually opt for like the herbs and cheese, cream cheese,
Mhm.
like, but then I figured like the bread's already herbed out. I don't need to do like double herbs, right? I'm just gonna get the regular cream cheese, throw that shit
Mhm.
on my herb bread, and that kind of slaps. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow, I love that for you. Now, so is it officially say like herbs and cheese on the package of this bread? Because I would think that Subway has like IP on herbs and cheese
Hmm,
bread as just a statement in general. Like I'm surprised we've even got away with saying it out loud this many times on the podcast.
that's a great point. It does not specifically say herbs and cheese, but it does say Italian herbs. That's the actual flavor.
Mm,
So I don't know, Ty. What are Italian herbs really? Parsley, I guess. Maybe a little bit of oregano. I don't
yeah,
know.
basil.
Rosemary. Yeah, it could be any of these things, but the point is, Ty, it's better than the everything bagel because that shit just gets everywhere at the end of the day. And it
Dude,
might taste the best, but it's too messy.
I think it's time that this podcast took a strong stance against the everything bagel because I'm not here for it either.
hmm It's yeah, you're right. It's overrated to say the least, Ty. It's been the default of bagels for as long as I can remember, much like the herbs and
Mhm.
cheese at Subway. But it really doesn't add much to the eating experience. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
you
might
get
even rather
everything
get a
and
sesame.
nothing. Everything and nothing at the same time, right? Like, it
Oh,
doesn't taste any better than just a nothing bagel.
yeah. I mean, it does. It tastes slightly better. I'll give it that. But I don't think the pros outweigh the cons of it, like leaving poppy seeds in my BMW. You know?
Dude, you gotta stay away from those poppy seeds. Like, I was learning the other day about how, people whose jobs, which is most of Subway's demographic, that have drug testing will if you eat an everything bagel for breakfast in the morning and then you do a drug test, the poppy seeds will actually trigger the drug test as a positive. So if you are a
Oh,
blue collar worker heading to the construction site, got to do the drug test before you operate the crane. Um, and you had that everything bagel for lunch on the way in or breakfast on the way in, you're getting sent home. and
Wow.
you're gonna have to go talk to your lawyers because the poppy seeds will trigger that. And that is probably why Subway doesn't offer everything bread, like an everything bagel type bread option. It would be a hit, but then they'd screw over their entire demographic because they're all getting drug tests.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. So Subway actually is looking out for us.
Hmm. And also, like, okay, 50% of their demographic, their aspirational demographic is athletes. Their actual demographic is fat construction workers, and
Yeah.
both of those groups are subject to drug tests. So they've
Hmm.
thought this through.
Hmm.
They're not falling for the everything scam. If you want everything at Subway, just go to the veggie section and you can have it
Hmm.
all.
Hmm. And can't help but notice that two things are missing from the menu as well: asparagus and beets. Two things that make your piss like scarier than they should be.
Hmm. They want to make sure that everything's coming back clean.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah,
probably also like
they don't want you to
a
be like Future, where he said, "My piss coming back dirty. I'm just being honest."
Yeah. Damn, how does that guy have so many baby mamas?
No, he's talking about drinking lean, but yeah, I guess
Oh, I
that
see, I
too.
see. No. That's the other thing is, like, I feel like your average Subway enjoyer, it just, like, has a higher likelihood, like, if we look at the stats, we can fact check this later, but just a higher likelihood of being arrested. Like, I
Mm.
don't know why, I got the vibe, like
I mean, higher chance of being arrested in their life, but then also like anyone who steps foot in a subway has a higher chance of being arrested for inciting violence at their sandwich artist.
yeah, dude.
Like half the fight videos on World Star are in the subway. Have you noticed that? Like we
Mhm,
posted one like a month ago, Ty, and that was
mhm.
from like last week.
Totally.
Make that make sense.
So, you're subjecting yourself to like, if you're it's like you gotta go through a storming and norming and then performing phase with your sandwich artist, and if you start storming with them, that could lead to, a dispute of some sort, and next thing you know, the blue
Hmm.
lives are back in the building, and
The
because
blue lives are back.
that's the
Oh,
other challenge, Eric, with you, like, even if you're a certified good boy and you go in a subway, you are risking arrest simply by being in the presence of the police force more than you need to be, right? Like,
that's a great point. Chances
they're
are you're
there.
doing something wrong anyway, right? Like you didn't tip your
Mhm,
sandwich artist, and because all cops are bastards, Ty, they will see that and they will just arrest you on the spot. I'm surprised
totally.
artists don't citizens arrest you, getting all that inspiration from their clientele.
Mhm. Like, that officer looking over my shoulder, just trying to see what's fresh today in the deli section, catches a glimpse of something nefarious on my phone, and next thing I know, I'm up against the, faux brick wall getting handcuffed.
Hmm. That's right. The subway Wi-Fi has some really tight policies that you have to accept before you start
Mhm.
browsing. Oh shit! Wow. Hey Ty, I got some rapid fire questions or topics that I want to run by you before we end this episode. Um, First, I want to talk about the most hetero affogato that I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Typically, affogato is kind of like a zesty little treat.
Mhm. With
However,
a
I've been
snack.
seeing this. I've been seeing this hetero version pop up on my feed like multiple times, and it's in Florence, I think. But it's the opposite of how we all know affogatos to be made. The first
Mhm.
one, or the way it's made, is they put ice cream in an espresso cup and then make the
Mhm.
espresso in the cup, and
Mhm.
that's the affogato. They don't have to pour it on
Simple.
top. Exactly. So looks way better. It's already in the coffee cup. You get to make it and eat it way easier, in my opinion. Have you seen
Mhm.
this thing?
Are you talking about, the new age version, or are you talking about the traditional affogato?
Well, I don't know what the traditional one is. Am I just describing the traditional one? Because the one I'm seeing, I've only just started seeing.
Dude, so the one that I'm familiar with, which I call the Alpha Gussie, is the ice cream has been plastered to all the, like, inside of the espresso cup to the point that it, like, peels up and folds in. And then you pour the espresso into the little cave system you made of the
Mhm.
ice cream. So like rather than the ice cream being convex and then have the ice cream kind of wash around it like the shower water hitting your bald scalp, it's um, the ice cream pools into this like rain collector, or the espresso pools into this rain collector, and then the sides
Mhm.
of the ice cream melt inwards on itself, creating this really attractive little slit that you just kind of want to get your lips into.
That's exactly what I was talking about. So this is the traditional way because I've only like just seen it on my feed, and it's I'm going to Italy this summer. I'm gonna have to try to find this
Hmm.
because it looks so good, Ty. I'm gonna have to get it.
So you're
So that
saying
you're
this
telling
is
me
like
this is
how
like
the
the original.
affogato as the Romans intended?
Wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be sure to repeat that to the espresso artist when I see them.
That's really funny.
Oh
They'll get a
shit.
kick out of that. They love their heritage.
I'm like, wow, just as the Romans intended. Um,
Dude, who loves
Beautiful.
who is more obsessed with Italian heritage? An Italian dude or Subway Inc?
Wow. Definitely dudes. They Italian dudes, they live up to their stereotype very, very well.
It's true. They can't
Um,
help it. They're Italian.
yeah. Sorry about my friend. He's not perverted. He's just Italian.
Yeah.
Was Fogel Italian? That sounds
Dude,
like like an Italian last name.
that's something I could see like the defense using in or like
Yeah.
talking to the jury. Like he's just Italian. If you eat
Yeah.
enough Italian breads and meats, like you could kind of lose sight of your
hmm
values.
Yeah. Fogel's real name, Ty, and it's been changed to appeal to our markets. His real name's Gerard Fogliato.
Fogliato. Damn, that's what that affogato should be called. A fogliato, because it's folding
hmm
in on itself.
Yeah. Hey, Jared. Why is there so much child porn on your laptop? I forgot about it.
Just Italian.
Anyways, next topic, Ty. Did you happen to catch Kevin Gates' IG story over the weekend?
Dude, I obviously did not watch it. Um, I
So you listened to the warning, is what you're saying.
I listened to the warning and I said, you know, the internet would not be making this big of a stink about this if it wasn't something truly stinky.
Oh, it was stinky, Ty. It was looking like a it was looking like the black olive bin at Subway.
So you admit
Um,
you indulged.
I
You
indulged,
clicked
Ty.
open.
Are you aware of what went down on this public forum over the weekend, or did you stay clear of it entirely? Do you have no
No,
clue what
dude,
happened?
I'm following the reports. I'm aware that a little 6 inch was made live on camera. Just
hmm
as many plastic gloves in the room as you would find at Subway.
Oh shit! It was looking like the black olive bucket, but it was smelling like the tuna bucket. Am I right?
Mhm. Damn.
Damn.
Yeah,
So
dude.
for those who don't know, Kevin Gates. Well, okay, I'll start my journey on Twitter. Actually, I was looking at Twitter and Kevin Gates was trending. I was like, oh god, hope this guy didn't die or something. I click on
Mhm.
it, and people say whatever you do, don't look at his story. And naturally,
Mhm.
as a content creator and media personality, I had to do it. I took one
Mhm.
for the Think Fresh team here, but I went to his Instagram and saw his baby moms birthing their child. And when I had clicked on it, Ty, it was already mid push, as they say. They had already surpassed the meat and cheese section, if you will.
Wow. Headed straight into the sauces.
Yeah, they were straight into the sauces, Ty, and
Jeez.
I exited it before they had wrapped it up. Um, but yeah, that was I did not need to see that. So I'm sure you can head over to WorldStar and catch a clip of
Mhm.
that if you want. But
The highlight reel.
yeah, I'm sure like Inside NBA will cover it tonight or something like that. But yeah, that was about it. I'm happy you got to avoid that actually. Um, Speaking of NBA. there was an incident on the court the other day where a player, I don't know if you were watching, probably not, but
Mm-mm.
a player, Nikola Jokic,
Mhm.
he a ball went flying out of bounds, landed in a fan's lap, right? And there was a moment for the player to like hurry up the play and like get the ball in bounds again to like have an advantage. And the guy goes over to grab it, shoves the fan down, and then later finds out this fan is the owner of the team.
Wait, what? The
Yeah,
owner
so
of
they're
his team?
no, for the opposing team. So they were playing the
Ooh.
Suns. This guy was the owner of the Suns, and he was being a little bitch. He was playing keep away from Nikola, right? He was holding the ball back, not letting him get an advantage on his team because
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
their guys was down, and he just like throws the ball away, and then he catches an elbow to the chest, and it was kind of like
Yo.
subtle, but he flopped really hard, right? And I only like bring this up because he was fined $25,000 for that. He wasn't suspended, but he was fined, and it got me thinking like what would happen to you if you shoved the franchise owner? Like if you
Dude,
were in a subway and you like assaulted the owner of the subway, would anything happen to you? Would you be arrested? Would you get a free sub out of it? What would happen?
I think you gotta pull up the CCTV and, like, see if that franchise owner is trying to run interception on your foot long, you know? Like, if he's getting in there and he's trying to hold you or your artist back, then
Exactly.
I think you got grounds for a lawsuit. He can't keep
Yeah,
like,
totally.
it's tough though, like, the man owns the building. Like,
He
you're
owns
in
the
you're in his
building.
house.
Hmm. I
Like,
mean,
that
the equivalent would be like he owns the bread that it's on, and it's like
Mhm.
he's denying you the herbs and cheese, but you only eat the herbs and cheese. You know what I mean? It's
Dude,
like this goes
yeah.
against my religion.
It is kinda weird though that, like, until you tap that Amex at the end, he owns your sandwich. Like, it's
Wow.
kinda like when you work for a company and as a part of the contract, you sign away that anything you make while you're employed is their property. You're
Oh.
subjecting yourself in a similar way at Subway, where you could come up with the best sandwich in the world, and if it's good enough, at the 11th hour, the artist might just pull it and say, "This is ours now. This is going back to HQ so we can study this to train sandwich artists for years to come. Sorry,
Mhm.
sir, you're gonna have to order another or get the hell out." Like, that's
Mhm.
their sandwich that you're making until you
Wow.
transact.
Wow. I mean, you're co-creating this thing at the end of the day, so you would expect the artist to at least have some stake in it. No
Mhm,
steak and cheese, pun intended.
mhm,
But yeah, you're right. The franchise, technically, at the end of the day, does own all property and all assets of the
mhm,
business, and that includes the floor you're walking on, the sandwich you're holding.
mhm.
They might even own it before you leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not really sure where the franchise ownership ends. You'd think it's at the door, but, like, do they own the smell outside?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a great question. The smell outside is proprietary, Ty.
Mhm.
Um, we need like a Shazam app for smell. Like, if I could just
Mm.
hold my iPhone up to the subway, download that scent, maybe be able to like make a perfume out of that or something. That would
Mhm.
be that would be a copyright infringement for sure, but it is what it is.
Be sick. It's like LimeWire, but for good smells and bad smells. The bad smells are like the viruses.
Yeah. It's when you try to download the Black Eyed Peas album and then you accidentally you
Just
accidentally end
download a
up with
fart.
oh shit. Well, Ty, that's all the rapid fire topics I got for you. I wanted to get those off my chest.
Thank you. I know I've been making you hold up quite a bit this week because we missed our last episode. So I appreciate you writing them down and not moving on without me.
Well, it's my pleasure. I think you owe the breadheads an apology, not me, Ty.
They're never getting that.
Exactly.
But what they
Um,
can get is 15% off layered products. We're talking creamers, we're talking adaptive mushrooms, maybe a few granola bars. You can get
hmm
10% off a Wongogo puzzle, just Wongogo to wongo.com. Use code ThinkFresh on both sites and help a brother out.
Big. big poultry will lead you to believe that breakfast is the best and most important meal of the day. And if so, go ahead and cop the breakfast from Laird Superfood.
Mhm.
But if you don't believe that and you think that activating your brain is actually the best breakfast, go ahead and hop on over to Wongo Puzzles and get a puzzle with our code Think Fresh and support the pod, support your mental well being.
Hell
And
yeah.
thank you for listening.
Yeah, dude. Anyone from Hustler University will tell you that they do 2, maybe even 3 puzzles every morning before the sun rises to stay mentally acute, and you should too.
Exactly. Well, Ty, that's everything for me.
Mhm. Me
Breadheads,
too.
thank you for listening, and we'll see you on Friday.
Yes, thank you, breadheads. Think fresh. Ciao.
Think fresh. Peace.